The game I'm going over now is played by a professional against an amateur. However, it's a bit unusual in the sense that, well, words can't really describe it, so let's just go ahead and show you. The amateur player of this particular game is black. The professional is white. And as you can see, he opens up with Tengen. A very unusual move. Why, for example, would someone open up with Tengen, though, in your opinion? If you were going to see Tengen as your first move, what would you be expecting your opponent to be playing for? Killing it, I like that. Favorite answer. Alright, Robert T is immediately predicting influence. Alright, good, good, good. Greenwich says maybe he likes to fight. Alright, another one, another good one. I would also go ahead and probably imagine that is exactly what I was going to see as well. White goes ahead and takes 4-4. Black plays 3-3. Now, before I go any further than here, I should point out that this guy actually fought his way up to 7 Dan on tygem. I'm not sure if he's going to keep it, but he managed to fight his way up to 7 Dan. And you can see why he managed to get so high. It's because this particular playstyle just makes me cringe. If I was playing white already, I would almost want to just resign and play a new game. Because this is very, very, very difficult. As Robert says, Tengen, invade everything, hope you live in the middle. What are you going to do? If that strategy actually succeeds, where are you getting your territory from? So white obviously blocks. Nothing unusual here. We're seeing a fairly straightforward Joseki. And we're also seeing white lose Sente. So black goes ahead and takes a corner. White approaches. And same as the bottom left-hand side. Here, we saw that this opponent likes to go ahead and take as much territory as he can. Who cares about how much influence he's giving his opponent? He's going to take as much territory as he can. He's got to move in the center, as Robert said. So, despite giving that influence away, he's got K10, he'll live in the center, his opponent won't have anything, game over. It's an incredibly difficult style to actually play as an amateur. But I thought this game was absolutely awesome in how white just takes this apart. Because I would not be able to do it so simply. I doubt any of us would be able to do it so simply. That is true. Your opponent knows your entire plan from move 3. That is true. But dealing with it is another matter, because it's a lot easier to play this way than it is to play against it, I think. So here we go. White is again taking influence. Black is not going for an avalanche variation. He's not going to get mixed up in that. He's just taking his territory. White's obviously extending for some influence. Black's going to bend. And we're going to see the exact same thing. More influence given, more territory gained. We keep responding for all of these moves as white here, because we don't want him to Atari and live on the left-hand side. Then it's really, really difficult. We don't want him to Hane at the head of 2 or 3 stones. So these moves were all responded to. And one more, like I said, Hani at the head of 3 stones will go ahead and respond to it. So the question now becomes, what is black going to do? Is black going to take a corner? Is black going to go elsewhere? Ah, he is doing that right now, Yangshi. He sees the influence that he's giving white, and he defends his stone, making it a little bit more difficult to actually use it. Again, going back to exactly what Robert T says in the beginning. He's playing Tengen, he's invading everywhere, he's going to try to live in the middle. And you're left as white to figure out, well, now what do I do? I mean, my opponent's getting territory, I've got this influence, and my opponent seems to have the center of the board. Strategy, I don't know. But corners are open, so white takes a corner. Guess the next move. Go on, you can guess it. You'll get it right. You're all shaking your head saying, no, he's not going to do that again. But oh, yes he is. Oops, shoot, I misclicked. There we go. So yes, he invades again. We don't play anything unusual here. Exact same variation. White again ends in Gote. And then takes the corner. Yes, White's counter strategy so far is not to be the least bit concerned about what Black is doing. And I should mention that after this game, I intend to go over another game of theirs. Because these two players did not just play once. They did not play twice. They played 9 times in a row. As Inazuma said, on the same day, we've both been going over these games this week, just completely amazed at how White just rips this stuff apart. Because it would give us trouble. As amateur Dons, we would have so much trouble here. It's like, what do I do? Do I not take a corner? Do I start attacking? Do I just, I don't know, shoulder hit and try and develop territory? I mean, what am I doing? And White's answering it simply. White is simply not going to care. So, once again, White plays high for influence. Black plays low for territory. And here we go again. So, yeah. Have you guys ever heard of the shape game? Essentially, where you are trying to live in the center, and you go ahead and maybe either you completely put stones along the entire center of the board, or you go ahead and give yourself 9 stones and make it difficult, rule out the invasions, and essentially White's only strategy here is to live in the center. Well, that's what this just turned into. It's pretty much a shape game. Black has to not die in the middle. Because yes, Sente, obviously he knows an attack is coming. So he goes ahead and defends himself again. So what does White do? Because he played Gote everywhere. Indeed, we need to attack while making profit. But where's the weak groups to attack? The only one weak group on the board is in the center. How are you going to attack that for profit? White has a very good move here, and it's also the reason why we usually don't see these 3 stones in a row. If we are going to see this, and sometimes we are in similar positions where we have to live in the center, we usually don't jump 3 times. We usually go ahead and try to make some sort of shape here for ourselves. White understands that very, very well. Because he decides that he's going to cut black apart by any means necessary. He's going to do the simple thing. There are strong white walls everywhere. If you cut this in half, black's going to have 2 weak groups, and you're essentially fighting for half the board. So black has no choice. He has to go ahead and Atari. 2 cut points are created. He chooses to go with the left. So white obviously cuts. Now we've got 2 weak groups here. Exactly what we wanted here as white. Both of them have to live, which is now incredibly difficult because white hasn't really left much Aji behind with the Joseki in the corner. So black connects. White says, I'm not going to get captured. Black tries playing aggressively. Use Samaji. But all he has to do is not die in the center. And since he has strength everywhere, that's pretty easy to accomplish. Question for black is, can he live in the middle? Because this shape game just got a lot more difficult. He decides to start by trying to make 1/2 of the board live. White says, fine, I'm not going to get captured here. I'm not going to allow you to use any defects in my shape, like here. No chance of just simply, sacrificing. I'm going to remain nice and strong here, and if you want to live, you have to prove you're alive. That would have made things a bit more difficult, Yang Shias. But don't worry. Black actually learns from these games. Like I said, he played them 9 times in a row. On the same day. He began learning from his mistakes. So he goes, tries to net the 1 stone. White has absolutely no interest. White says, fine, this territory is more than enough that I need. Because the question becomes, how much territory does black really gain from doing this? I mean, sure, there's some second line that he's gained for himself. He's got some in the corner. And you can hear me clicking like a mad person, sorry. I like dealing with nice oops, shoot, no. You go away, sorry. You go to 15, thank you. I like nice, easy to count shapes. I don't like odd numbers. I'm going to go ahead and give him those. Let's see, let's not do that. Give me 40, there we go. So pretty easy to estimate. Let's say from what he's just gained, he's gained about... Let's say, well yeah, but let's go ahead and be generous and say he's got about 50 points. Can white actually get that with this plus Komi? I would certainly say so. Plus there's still other areas that he can squeeze out a few points of territory, such as the left-hand side. Or poking this shape to build up on the left-hand side. So he doesn't have to be greedy here. He doesn't have to be crazy and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, forget everything. I'm going to try and make this really, really messy by having everything live. No, he realizes that he knows exactly how many points he needs to win, and that's what he's going for. Black realizes this, so he tries to live in there. He can't give it up. Ensures he's not going to get surrounded, cuts off Black, very good move. Black tries to jump away, but White is right there next to him, making sure that he can't get any good shape here. Attacks to try to get stronger, see how he's going to defend. Obviously White extends, because he doesn't want to go ahead and give up any kind of Aji with the Hane. Keep himself nice and connected. There's still this, and he goes after it. Doesn't really help very much. Hasn't really made any eyes yet. So again, Black attaches for shape. Now he's starting to get a little something here. But after White pokes, again, we're not really certain where our eyes are going to come from. So Black plays the Hane instead. White defends himself, makes certain that there's no free moves for Black to go after. He's going to protect his shape, make sure that Black can't get any shape, because again, all he needs is to ensure that the middle stays dead. Which is harder for us than it is for him, because he is a professional. He knows shape. Doesn't have to worry about ladders, because Black generously made certain that all the ladders on the board are pretty much going to White stones. And I misclicked. Shoot, sorry. There we go. Black tries to capture. Obviously not going to be allowed to do so. Which means White gets to keep him in. So what do you think? Can we get 2 eyes here? Indeed, absolutely not. No way we're getting 2 eyes here. Tries to push and create some Aji. Not going to happen. Depends on how many times White passes. Very true, very true. So he can't capture that, so he goes back here. Maybe he can make something happen with this. Unfortunately, that is very unlikely. White just flat out captures the stones. Black gets 1 eye. But that's all he's ever going to get. So it doesn't really work. Oops, my bad. Yeah, eventually White wins by resignation, and we see that coming up really, really soon. Because now that White's fine, he begins attacking some more, which just means that he's going to essentially get killed elsewhere. Make certain he's nice and connected. Black gives 1 last attempt to live. Unfortunately, doesn't work. Tries to capture White stones. Same thing, not going to work. and black resigns here. Because now he's once again cut up into two groups, and he needs to live. He needs to live at 1, he needs to live at 2, and 3 is hopeless. So, interesting strategy by black. But white just went ahead and cut through that and began capturing pretty much anything he actually played in the center. So it didn't work out quite so well for him. Now, you and I might look at this game and we might say to ourselves, okay, that was fun. Let's play a little bit more seriously here. However, if we actually look up this guy's games, we see that this is exactly how black plays in all of his games. This is the style he goes with. He doesn't care. He does not care about playing what you and I might consider honest moves. He's going to go ahead and just try to win by any means necessary. And that's by strategy such as this, which is very, very, very difficult to actually dismantle, especially in here. Because how many times did white have the option of playing a mistake and letting black live? It's a lot easier to, let someone live than it is to actually kill them. It's very difficult. So especially against amateurs, yeah, this strategy may actually work. I am not endorsing it, but it does make it interesting to watch, because this is something that I know I would have a lot of problems with. I mean, from move 1, I would be getting annoyed. Indeed. A lot of moves to make a mistake, and we are not professionals. The odds of us making a mistake are very, very high. That aside, as previously mentioned, they play 9 games. I'm going to go ahead and show you another. Actually, I don't know. I kind of want to... Alright, I don't think I'm going to show it. Yeah, actually I will. White has a sense of humor. I'm going to change the game that I was originally going to go over. White has a really, really great sense of humor. After playing this guy a bunch of times and seeing him play this opening over and over and over again, White demonstrates he has a fine sense of humor, and I'm going to share that with you now. I'm going to open up a new demo. As you can see, in this game, the professional decides to go ahead and play exactly what his opponent's going to do. He played Tengen. It's like, you can play Tengen, but I'm going to show you the proper way to play Tengen. So that is a wonderful attitude. I mean, this isn't normal for the professional. In all of the other games I've seen, he does not open with this move. He's just opening with this move against this player. So White decides to fight immediately. I would go ahead and say both to that one, Yangshi. So White decides to go ahead and attach. And make this a rather, shall we say, aggressive game? Black decides to Hane, and if we've ever attached to Tengen in our games before, what we see now is something that we always see. We see the crosscut. Black defends his stone. White defends his stone. Black defends because they don't want to get laddered. White doesn't want to get laddered. And now we have a glorious fight in the middle in which we all have two groups that we have to look after. So Black, the professional, went ahead and defended. And whoever asked that, no, I was not white. He did not play me. I do not play this way. If you want to find him on tygem, who's who? Black. Okay, Legend 88 is Black, and at night is white. So here we have to decide what are we going to do. It looks like our two stones here in the center are getting a bit surrounded. So we're going to go ahead and jump. Black decides to try and threaten the other stones as well. So white defends those. Now since these stones and these stones, come on, here we go, have just been made stronger, and I still really want a clear all function for KGS, and since these stones now have shape, obviously the group that we're going to look after now are the two cutting stones that we haven't done anything with. So Black defends those. But remember what kind of player white is. White's all about territory. So he's not going to stick around and fight. He's going to go run off and try and get territory. So now the question is, what do we do? This is, they were playing on tygem, which is a lot of fun, because since he ranked up from 5 Dan, and since at the time this guy was 5 Dan, he had no, well, he probably had some idea after the first game, but he originally had no idea he was playing a professional. It's been made abundantly clear to him since then that, yeah, the person that you were playing this with over and over and over again is a pro. But yeah, in the beginning, had no idea, which had to have been interesting for him. But alright. White says, I want territory. Well, Black says, okay, take your territory. I'm going to go ahead and attack your stones in the center. Because we were fighting, and you left. It's not nice. You shouldn't leave your stones if they're not, been made safe. But White says, no, that's fine. I can just jump and I'm fine again. So Black goes ahead and again makes sure he can't connect underneath. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What kind of player is this? I said it over and over again. This is a territory player. So what is he going to do? He's going to enclose for territory. He's taking solid points. However, now he's left a rather large group of stones in the center. This is a problem. But how do we attack it? How are we going to attack something like this? Because we have to be careful. If we play too close, then it's not going to surround, and White's going to escape. If we play too close, same thing, it's going to escape. If we play too far away, then it can make a base. So where is that good middle line in between, not wanting to play too close and not wanting to play too far away? Black says it's here. Because he has an option, we can see, of being able to connect his stones up, We can see that if white tries to attack, we're not being sandwiched between his wall. It's way too far away to attack us. White can't really jump past the line because we can still go ahead and cut it off. It's definitely not a move that we want to see played against us right now as white. White says no problem. Gonna make some shape, and I'll be fine. Black says, okay, go for it. Make your shape. Chances are I won't even care if you live. Because while you're struggling against this group, it's going to be harder to go ahead and take the territory that's above the wall you're about to give me. So go ahead, live. Go live. Go live. I'll show you how you're supposed to take your territory. Leaving your groups to be attacked to take Gote somewhere else, not such a great idea. Attacking for territory, much better. I'll show you why. So white says, okay, I'm going to lean against this stone then. That'll be okay. Because now black will extend, white will get to extend, and then we can completely undercut whatever black wanted to do up top. That's what's going to happen. Good plan, good plan. Not a good plan. White says, what about your shape? Or black says, what about your shape? I can cut you in one of two ways. What are you going to do? White says, no problem. I can kill that stone. White connects, threatening to cut through. Black doesn't want to be cut through, so he connects. And white says, haha, like I said, I killed your stone. And black is now making territory, well, making influence still, sorry, so it's definitely not territory yet. But now he's making a lot of strength from attacking. This group has to live locally, didn't get to escape. So now what's he going to do? White says, no problem, I'll save my stones, I'll make them stronger, and I'll be able to attack you up top, I'll be able to attack you in the middle. Everything's still fine. But that's still playing away. He hasn't lived locally here yet. So you might try and save your cutting stone. Might try and attack black in the center, but your group is still under attack here. So white pokes at black's shape. Or black pokes at white's shape, sorry. When reviewing, I always get my colors confused because I'm playing both colors at the same time. Connects. Now we got a problem again. We're kind of losing our eyes. This isn't good. Have to take. Atari, take, connect. Now we're in trouble. Wasn't F11 the proper response to what? Oh, to here. G11? To that. Good question. Let's go over that then. F11. Now what do we do? Any idea? Push where? Can go ahead and push G10. Well, who cares about that? We can just Atari. But there's a little bit of a snapback. So it doesn't really work. So this could be a problem. Can't go ahead and try and cut, because that cutting stone is still a problem. No problem. You're allowed to ask questions. This is why I give lectures. Alright, so Atari takes, and obviously black just goes ahead and connects. So now we've got a nice Nice little, what do you call this? A dumpling? I don't know. We just have a mass of stones without shape. A blob. Blob works too. We could call it dead. That would be a bit more accurate, yeah. But again, white says no problem. I'll jump out, and I can survive this. Black strengthens himself. Tries to secure his large knight. Doesn't want to get, cut off. So he plays this and jumps away. Now this might not be too bad. If white's actually getting access to the corner, his group is really, safe there, then alright. It's not too bad. Sure, you lost some stones, making black immortal in the middle, and you still have two groups to worry about, but at least you got one of your groups out of there. That's good. Unfortunately, there is a problem with the large knight. That problem is it can be cut. And this large knight, despite the great efforts of our D9 stone to defend against any horrible cuts, can still be cut. Because this little stone has two ways to connect, doesn't it? So this stone can't really be captured. White pushes. Black cuts, because we can see at E14 that D12 is going to have no problems. So despite being cut, we can connect back up, and our one stone is safe. It's going to connect back to safety no matter how we're Atari. White gives a little bit of struggle. Tries to create some cut points, but the minute black connects, it's clear he's captured and resigns. Game is most definitely over at that point. Poor white, indeed. But keep in mind, he played this guy a bunch more times after this. Because at this point, he has got to realize this is a really, really strong player. I mean, these are pretty much free lessons for him. And all white wants to do is rank up. He's trying to get that 9-dan account. So he can play seriously. So he doesn't care who he's playing as a 5-dan. He's just going to play his 20 games, rank up twice, place 27 dans, rank up twice, be a 9-dan, and there is his account. So sure, he'll play this guy 9 times in a row. Why not? Absolutely amazing in my opinion. Yeah, sorry, he'll play... here he's black. In this game he's black. So he'll play white 9 times, yeah. Now, we have some extra time on our hands. Do you want to see one more game between these two players? Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and give him black again. About this game. I need to find it. And I guess I'm not going to stop recording, so all of this is going to go in the recording. Yes, this is my SGF client that you can see here. This is what I use. I don't think he actually updates this anymore, but I still like it. Alright, there we go. Let's use this one. I don't have this one memorized at all. Stone base. Alright, so Pro is back to Indeed, talking to my YouTube audience. So Black is back to being the amateur in this game. White is the pro. I think this game takes place towards the end of their 9 set, I think. White is still opening normally. And Black is still prevailing with his strategy. He will find the way to win even against a professional with his strategy. Just you wait and see is probably what's going on in his mind. So, same thing. We're going to go ahead and just live here. Black's going to get influence. Or White's getting influence, sorry. But here's where things change. Instead of approaching high, White decides he's going to approach low this time. He would indeed be, but he only was able to rank up, apparently, he was only able to rank up to 7 Dan. I guess this player, Black here, at night, was ranking up at the same time White was ranking up. So, yeah. 9 games lost in a row. I imagine he almost D-ranked them by playing all of these games. White responds by extending. He's all about getting rid of that influence. That's all he's interested in, getting rid of the influence, taking territory. So he overextends an insane amount. But since he's so overextended here, and there's such a large area between these two stones, I mean, there's a 4 space extension? Really? He's not going to mind getting pincered, because he could just go ahead and lean on this. He can go ahead and, if pincered, even play A, and get a little bit of a wall here if he needs to settle. So, responding here, not really vital. So, takes a corner. Black does not take the corner. He decides to play a defensive move. See, like I said, he's learning. He knows, okay, with this style, I can't just gain territory. I do have to make my groups a little bit strong, otherwise I'm in so much trouble here. If I just give him walls everywhere, he's going to fight me in the middle, he's going to kill me. He did it to me 8 times in a row. I get it. That's the pattern here. Let's make myself stronger. White takes another corner. Black says, okay, I made myself stronger. Time to take some more territory. Now it'll work. Surely. And, you know, lo and behold, we're gonna do the exact same thing we've been doing. Same Joseki. It's like, okay, I did that. I'm strong still. I have influence. Let's do it again. And same thing. Here we go again. Only this time I'm strong in the lower left. I am strong in the lower left. So I don't have a wall. I haven't given a White a wall there. There's a low stone. There's no way my middle Tengen is going to be in as much danger. No way. No how. Not going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this. Tell me, what is White going to do? Everyone's immediately pointing it out. Because the answer is so obvious. He's forcing White's moves. At this point, it almost feels like Black is beating himself. Because with this strategy, you're going to be attacked. And one thing that White wants to do, because he's been doing it repeatedly, is find two weak groups and separate them. So he's going to look at these two moves, and what is he going to do? He's going to separate them. Plunk. Way to go, Sagner. So yes, he separates. Black says, I'm going to live. And truthfully, up until this point, they'd played this variation the previous game. Their previous game, where they were each their respective colors, the moves all went the exact same way. But in that game, this K15 stone died. Let's see how he does in this game. Because like I said, he's constantly learning from these games. Oh, sorry. Yeah, which stone do you want to attack more? The one in the middle or the one on the outside? If we play farther away from the top, then there's less pressure on it. If there's less pressure on it, then it's easier to live. The middle stone is still difficult because it's all by itself to actually attack. So we don't want to play our most severe stones on the stone that's hardest to kill. So White goes ahead and approaches. Black makes some shape. White says, I poke your shape. Black connects. White begins to surround. And you can see from this that it's really easy to see how this group here at K15 got killed in their last game. Because this is very, very difficult to live. But if you are playing in a game such as this, I recommend that your lesson to be learning from a game such as this isn't, okay, I died here, let's go see how I can live there. It might be best to ask yourself, okay, I died there, how can I never get into that position ever again? But he learned. He learned how to live here. So White tries to keep him in. Black's poking all over the place. Seeing if he can reduce. He can't. So he goes to try to make life, which he can do. This clamp is actually pretty nice for Black. He's actually making some shape here. So White just says, no, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna live there. I get it. Black sees if he can escape. No escaping. Create some Agi. Again, not too bad. Trying to capture some stones. Forcing White to defend. And then going back to live. White cuts. Black makes the eye. And Black's now alive. However, he's now alive in Gote. And White has now been given a lot more thickness. If he had lived in Sente, that would no doubt be a problem. Almost. White goes ahead and profits a little bit more first. There we are, nice and alive. White defends. Because again, he knows how much territory he needs. It's going to help his stone. He could try attacking Tengen, but Black might ignore the attack on Tengen to profit on the left. So to make his stone strong first. Because after all, can you imagine, in one single move, Tengen connecting up to either of these two stones? Of course not. Small Might's not going to do it. Large Might's not going to do it. Even if it could, large knight can be cut. So that stone is so far away. We don't have to be super aggressive right now. Black says, okay, I'm going to go and begin connecting. White says, well, I can't let that happen, so let's go ahead and see what you do to my cap. You're connecting via a large knight. Shape on the left is a little bit stronger. We might be able to cut through the large knight. Black says, forget all that, I'm going to attack you. So white tries to profit. Black defends. And defends. And defends. And creates shape. Now we have a problem. A very, very big problem. Black has now been cut off. Tries to connect. White extends and cuts. Now we've got 3 weak stones on the board. Something did not go well. Black defends his corner, a move which is way too slow, but what are you going to do? Get cut again? So white decides to go ahead and play simply. Prevent the left from connecting to the middle. That way we're strengthening our group at the same time. Good plan. So black extends, white goes for shape. He's making his group stronger. It's all he's interested in. Black tries to come up, we make our group stronger. It is enormous. That is true. Black tries to attack the middle, because this group of whites isn't immortal yet. He's got a stone in the middle to run to. I mean, Tengen, it's there. It's why it's there. It's why it keeps playing this. White says, okay, no problem. I'm going to get some shape. I'm also going to surround you if you're not careful. Tries to attach to leave. And this is actually a very important sequence to realize. Because if we play anything but this extension, if we play, for example, what's probably most common for most of us is immediately Hane to that attachment, then it's going to let white, it's going to let black Hane. Black has to go back and begin getting shape here. Who knows? He might even actually score life. But instead, he immediately poked. Black connects, makes himself heavy, and then white goes away. Thus denying black any kind of shape in the center. Very good sequence. White plays nice and strong. At this point, it should be mentioned that the group on the left at C9 is not alive yet, and now it's been completely surrounded. But we don't have time to do anything about that. We're still trying to live in the middle. So he attaches. Very severe moves, looking for a way to make some shape here. White escapes. Still haven't quite found a single eye in the middle yet. That's usually not a good thing. Black tries to run away. White cuts him off. Again, we're looking for some shape. But again, white does not hesitate for a minute to poke right through it. Profit. But alright, now we got something going here. We can see what his aim is. White drops down, or black drops down rather, and now we've cut off a group in the middle. There's gotta be Aji here. White says, yes, I am cut off, and you have no shape yet. Mm-hmm. That's what he's going for. Because, you know, when you're playing a pro, I think the obvious answer is to try to get into a capturing race with him. Indeed, that can still be cut. That is true. But you wouldn't want to go ahead and just fall back and do that immediately. Otherwise, he might get some shape again. So it says, forget the cut. Don't have to worry about it. There's a cut here too. So we got cuts all over the place. Let's just keep after that shape. Pokes. Plays the Atari. Maybe we can cut off the left group. That might work. A bit obvious. White's response is to point out that these 3 stones aren't alive yet. Very nice response. Thus making him nice and strong. Threatens to poke through. Again, ruining any kind of shape that black has and ensuring that he doesn't have to simply connect to live. He wanted to try to attack the left, yes, to see if he could cut off this group and live that way. Not working out quite that way. Because white has forced black to back off again, and again, and white cap simply captures the stones that are threatening to try and kill him. Now, worse than that, we can also play B13 and try to kill the left-hand black stones as well. But that's fine, because look how strong black has been made in the middle. He connects. He says, I'm going to go ahead and capture you in the middle. Finally, I'm going to win this friggin' game. So white plays forcing moves. Force him to connect. And simply cut off black. Now, we don't really need to have very good life and death skills here to see what's going to happen. At best, now that this group is cut off, the most he can hope for is Seki, which, if the left is dead, is just not even that. Because we see that he's got the liberties on the inside that he's going to have to remove if he wants to try to capture, and we've got 2 on the outside, which obviously can be taken up in that time. So there's no way that this group is ever going to try to kill anything. It's not even a possibility. But he connects anyway. Black makes the attempt. And we can see, it just doesn't work. Tries to maybe get some extra liberties by sacrificing. Nice liberty shortages here. Fairly good for getting rid of them. But there's just too many. White simply takes, and everything's dead. And the left still has to live as well. So, black resigns this game as well. Like I said, very difficult strategy to actually fight against as an amateur player. Because during all of this fighting, all it takes is you to make one mistake. Black's gonna live, and congratulations. You're in a lot of trouble. But if you're a professional, not so much of a problem. They don't get worried about this. There's no reason to panic. All you have to do is just take things one step at a time. Like, okay, weak group. Make sure it can't connect to this one. He doesn't have much territory. No problem. But yeah, I've been looking at Legends games for quite a while now, because a lot of his games of 5 and 7 Dan are, well, I don't want to call them simple, but they're really nice to look at. And occasionally, they play players that I would have problems with. Players who play, like this, for example, which, you know, my first response when I would see something like this wouldn't be to go ahead and go, okay, how do I defend that, or how do I take this apart, or what do I need to do? No, my first response is going to involve a lot of profanity. I'm going to go out and buy a kitten so I can punch it. I mean, it's just, I can't think that detached about that. But yeah, he gives really good examples of how to fight these kinds of things. People with weird openings, such as you know, things like this, for example. Occasionally, some player will play some weird well, maybe not this. Maybe something more along the lines of this. And the question becomes how to take advantage of that. You know, really unorthodox, unusual openings that you really don't see, and so it can trip you up if you're at, you know, at 22nd Bioyomi. So it's really helpful for me to go back and look at those kind of games. Typically that's how it's used, Lilmar, yeah. Typically the players who use non-standard openings usually couple that with 10-second Bioyomi. So now not only are they trying to confuse you, but they're trying to run you out on time as well. Make sure that there's the highest percentage of you actually making a mistake. I don't like those types of players. I really, really hate them. And I like watching them killed, like this. It's therapeutic. Yeah, it does often work. Like I said, Black here went up to 7 Dan by playing this way. I mean, I think he's going to lose it. Maybe he already has. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these games. Not really. Two players. White in this particular game is a professional. Black is an amateur 7 or 6 Dan at the moment, who plays very, very unusually, so we looked at his game. In this game, professional was Black, showed him the exact same thing. Only he actually won with it. Tygem, where all the pros play. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these games. If you wish,